Are the US and Iran preparing for a war? Well, Iran thinks so, and I'll give you the warning the US just sent to Iran. Take a look at this. Let's jump right in. Iran warns of expansion of the Gaza war, calling it inevitable after officials say new airstrikes have hit hospitals. Iran warned the scale of civilian suffering caused by Israeli war on Hamas, which is, arguable in that statement alone because Hamas attacked first, would inevitably lead to an expansion of conflict, as officials in Gaza reported that Israeli airstrikes on or near several hospitals in the Palestinian enclave. The comments from the Iranian foreign minister could ramp up concerns over whether Washington's diplomatic efforts and deployments of U.S. naval forces to the Eastern Mediterranean will be able to keep the conflict from further destabilizing the Middle East. The Iranian foreign minister said, quote, due to the expansion of the intensity of the war against Gaza's civilian residents, expansion of the scope of the war has become inevitable. Inevitable. Yeah, so will Iran be entering the war in a bigger, more expansive way? Will Hezbollah be entering the war with 100,000 troops full time here? That says the war is in the 34th day. Is it? Can you believe that we're now in over a month? Does it seem like that already? That this war has been going on for over a month already? Let me know your thoughts in the comments here. Also, this comes as Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin from the U.S. has warned Iran, as the U.S. has been attacked almost 50 times already. The U.S. has been slow to retaliate back with only a few attacks here. But take a listen to what Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin has to say here.
Secretary Austin, as you indicated in your opening remarks, Iranian backed terrorist proxy groups in the region have launched numerous drone and rocket attacks against our forces, U.S. forces in Syria and Iraq. It's imperative that Iran and its proxy groups understand that they cannot attack American forces with impunity. I know that last week, President Biden ordered 2 U.S. strikes against facilities in Syria used by Iranian proxies to threaten our troops. But the New York Times has reported over the weekend that Iranian-backed terrorists continue to attack U.S. forces in the region even after these airstrikes. Since these U.S. airstrikes apparently have not been sufficient to deter additional attacks on our troops by Iranian-backed proxies, what else is the department doing to stop attacks against American troops?
Well, thanks, Vice Chair. First of all, let me emphasize that the protection, the safety of our troops and our civilians is of utmost importance to me and of utmost importance to the President as well. We've taken a number of steps to make sure that we increase our force protection posture. We've deployed a number of assets into the region as well. We've been clear. The President's been clear, and I have been clear, Vice Chair, that if this doesn't stop, then we will respond. And so we maintain the right to respond. We have the capability to do that, and we will respond at a time and place of our choosing.
Meanwhile, the Pentagon confirms that there have been 4 new attacks on USA bases after the US sends 1 defensive airstrike. This shows you there's been almost 50 attacks on USA bases, and we've had 2 or 3 attacks back. and they're attacking, on a daily basis, multiple times, and the escalation is unbelievable, right? Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary Sabrina Singh said Thursday the U.S. has now been attacked at least 46 times since October 17th, following the breakout of the major war between Israel and Palestinian militant group Hamas. That includes 24 attacks in Iraq, 24 in Syria. The attacks have all involved explosive drones and rockets. Quote, if these attacks continue against our personnel, we won't hesitate at a time and a place of our choosing to respond again. A total of 56 troops have been injured in the attacks, but most are minor injuries, and every service member has since returned to duty, according to the Pentagon. However, there was a U.S. defense contractor that died during one of these attacks on an Iraqi base. The Pentagon is trying to sweep this under the rug because he was a contractor. A contractor. So that is where they're trying to not count that in the statistics. Nonetheless, he did die during one of these attacks. So don't let that be forgotten. Also, the U.S. has their new generation stealth bomber, which costs $750 million for one of them. The B-21 takes its first flight here today. The B-21. So you think of the stealth bomber, takes its first flight here today. It was just unveiled here a few months ago, but now took its first flight, or at least was unveiled to the public here today. $750 million each. These things are capable of dropping nuclear bombs. Also, these things are capable of, this is the first time that these are going to be capable of AI-driven pilots. So these are pilotless capable. So they can actually be driven basically via drone per se. They can be driven with no pilot. So technically, you could drive these over enemy territory, and you can drop a very dangerous nuke if you wanted to. And these are named after the Doolittle group, if you know about that, for very dangerous missions. So yeah, you would lose $750 million, but not a life, an American life, if you have to. So that you wouldn't have that risk. A long-range stealth bomber can be armed with nuclear weapons. And let me know your thoughts on this. Yeah, we're in some trying times. I will keep you up to date. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe down below, click the bell icon, and thank you so much for liking these videos. It really helps our videos here on YouTube spread them out to more viewers. So remember, new videos come out here every day at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the time being. Click here to see my video on the White House's new announcements, or you can click here to watch my newest video next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.